Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the return of the news roundup style videos. Yes, with the season well underway and seemingly a lot more news floating around, it felt like the right time to bring them back. So let's get started then, and following a crushing start to the 2019 season from Mercedes, Esteban Ocon has said that he expects Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas to be at war all season, something which of course could well test the apparent harmony within the team. 4 races into the new season and Bottas finds himself top of the Drivers' Championship, just 1 point clear of his world champion teammate, and Ocon appears to be relishing the prospect of a season-long head-to-head battle between the two of them. There is a very, very good atmosphere. I think that, of course, when you're a part of a team like this, which makes records every year and that performs as much, it motivates everyone. So obviously everything is going very well within the team. I'm not sure that Lewis will want to stay behind Valtteri. Valtteri will want to beat Lewis, and Lewis will still want to beat Valtteri. So I think it's going to be the war until the end of the season. Ocon, who of course lost his race seat to Lance Stroll and now finds himself as a Silver Arrows reserve driver, has been hotly tipped by a lot of people to replace Bottas should the Finn struggle in 2019. However, with 2 wins from the opening 4 races as well as 2 second places, many are starting to feel that his chances of taking that seat are becoming less and less likely. Sticking with Mercedes, sort of, and Ferrari's Mattia Binotto does not believe that the gap is all that big between the Italian team and the Silver Arrows. Despite looking like the team to beat following pre-season testing, the Scuderia have struggled to deliver on their car's potential and have had to watch as Mercedes delivered 4 consecutive 1-2 finishes. Speaking about the team's season so far, and more specifically about their performance last time out in Baku, Binotto is confident that Ferrari have the car to challenge. I think that 4 races in the season, no win for Ferrari, 4 wins for Mercedes, no doubt that they are very strong, and certainly they've got, let me say, a slightly better car. But I think that the gap is not so big, and the points and the results are not reflecting the true potentials of the cars. If you've got a car fast enough to score potentially the pole, you've got a good car overall. In the race, yes, we were not as fast as them, but we didn't finish 20 seconds behind. Seb somehow at the end of the race was quite close, and if you look, the delta lap time average is significant, but still little. Of course, Ferrari could and probably should have won in Bahrain, however mechanical issues saw Charles Leclerc lose what looked set to be a fairly comfortable win, and Sebastian Vettel couldn't pick up the pieces due to his spin. There is no denying that the Scuderia have absolutely got Fridays nailed. However, where it matters, they need to find form and quickly. I genuinely believe that the Spanish Grand Prix is a huge weekend for them. Next up, and Danill Kvyat has said that Formula 1 should get rid of Friday practice sessions as he believes that teams already have far too much information about the current crop of circuits. This is a topic of conversation that often crops up in the Formula 1 paddock, and Azerbaijan showed that despite teams losing an entire session, it didn't really make all that much of a difference. And the Russian feels that 1 practice session perhaps held before qualifying on a Saturday morning would be enough. Maybe we need to just come on the track on Saturday, that's it. Honestly, we are so up to knowledge on all the tracks we know. I think we need to allow extra time on new tracks like it's going to be Vietnam or something, maybe, but I don't know. It's up to F1 people to decide what is best and what is not. Every driver is different. Someone needs maybe 5 hours, but not me. Kvyat's thoughts were actually echoed by Red Bull boss Christian Horner, who added that with the calendar likely to expand over the coming years, a 2-day race weekend would make a lot of sense. I think it depends on how many races we end up with. If we end up with more races, we arguably do need to condense the time. We saw that 1 session worked well enough in Baku, so maybe just 1 good session is the way to go. Liberty Media have previously stated that they are looking into ways to shake up race weekends in future. However, while losing an entire day's running may not affect the teams too much, it does mean less track action for the paying fans. It would be a fine balance for Liberty to try and strike. On to the next one then, and Guenther Steiner believes that having tyres determine a car's pace is not the right thing for Formula 1. Despite a strong start in Australia which saw Kevin Magnussen take 6th place, Haas have definitely struggled during races, and both of their drivers have voiced their frustration about having a quick car in qualifying that then goes on to struggle in the race. One of the biggest issues for the team is getting good heat into the tyres, and Steiner is disappointed that despite the car being solid, it's the tyres that are dictating their race pace. Everybody's got issues with the tyres, it's just who is struggling more or less. We are more, and it's so disappointing because we've got a good car. We shouldn't be talking always about if the tyre works or not. It's interesting, but no, that's not Formula 1. We spend millions and millions to develop these cars, and then they are out of the tyre window and really cannot get going. I'm not blaming it purely on Pirelli, I'm blaming it on us as well because some get the tyres to work. But in general, this is not the right thing. We shouldn't be talking after the race, did your tyre work or not? Steiner did go on to say that it wasn't just the tyres causing the team problems, but also that the recent changes to the tyre blanket rules are also having a negative effect, essentially teams not being able to heat them as much as they could previously. And finally, despite grabbing a double points finish in Baku, which included Sergio Perez finishing a brilliant 6th, Racing Point are not getting carried away and don't expect any surprises in Spain. However, the team's CEO Otmar Safnauer is hoping that the team can remain at the very top of the midfield this weekend. Getting both cars into points and finishing best of the rest represents a really solid effort by the team. We knew the track had good potential and it was important we made the most of the opportunity. Barcelona is always an important milestone. It's the time when most teams bring big updates, and we are no exception with a combination of mechanical and aerodynamic parts to try out on Friday. I'm not expecting any major surprises this weekend, but I'd like to see us remain at the front of the midfield fight and scoring points once again. Racing Point currently sit 5th in the Constructors' Championship and already have 17 points on the board. As we discussed in Sunday's podcast, during their time as Force India, the team did tend to struggle early on in the season, but the Spanish Grand Prix was where their season really got going. So with a solid start to 2019 already under their belt, Racing Point are certainly a team well worth keeping a very close eye on over the next few races. That is almost it for this video then, just enough time for this week's question. And do you think that Formula 1 should do away with Friday practice? You can let me know your thoughts on that, or indeed any of the stories featured in the comment section down below. Now, I will be back later in the week with more content as ever, but in the meantime, you can follow me over on social media and all of the links you need are in the description. But as ever, thank you for watching and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.